Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Naresh Mago and with me is Renuka RS with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says agricultural reforms will give farmers new options and legal protection. Assures that old system will also continue if someone chooses to stay with it. Prime Minister appreciates efforts being made by scientists to come up with a vaccine solution to tackle COVID-19. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 93.81%. In Jammu and Kashmir, all arrangements in place for second phase of District Development Council elections tomorrow. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu calls upon SCO member states to enforce statutes to eradicate safe havens and financial networks supporting terrorism. We begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. Now the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that new agricultural reforms have given farmers new options and new legal protection, and at the same time the old system also continues if someone chooses to stay with that. He assured the farmers of the country that the new agricultural reforms have been introduced for their development. The Prime Minister was addressing a gathering in his parliamentary constituency Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh this afternoon.
नए कृषि सुधारों से किसानों को नए विकल्प और नए कानूनी संरक्षण ही तो दिए गए हैं। पहले तो मंडी के बाहर हुए लेन देन ही गैर कानूनी माने जाते थे। ऐसे में छोटे किसानों के साथ अक्सर धोखा होता था, विवाद होते थे, क्योंकि छोटा किसान तो मंडी पहुंच ही नहीं पाता था। अब ऐसा नहीं है। अब छोटे से छोटा किसान भी मंडी से बाहर हुए हर सौदे को लेकर कानूनी कार्यवाही कर सकता है। यानी किसान को अब छल से, धोखे से बचाने के लिए कानूनी संरक्षण भी मिला है।
The Prime Minister said the government not just wants to provide them new market opportunities, but also wants to strengthen the mandi system. He said the farmers of the country will lead the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign. The Prime Minister alleged that miscommunication is being spread by the opposition about the agricultural reforms. He said that a new trend has come up recently where every initiative taken by his government is opposed on mere apprehensions and misconceptions. Mr. Modi said, decades of deceit have made farmers apprehensive, but now there is no deceit and the NDA government is working with pure intentions. He alleged that in the name of farmers, many packages and projects were announced earlier, but their benefits have never reached the poor farmers. He added the government is also constantly answering those farmer families who still have some concerns. He expressed the confidence that those farmers who have some doubts on agricultural reforms today will also take advantage of these agricultural reforms in the future and increase their income.
जिन किसान परिवारों की अभी भी कुछ चिंताएं हैं, कुछ सवाल है, तो उनका जवाब भी सरकार निरंतर दे रही है, समाधान करने का भरपूर प्रयास कर रही है। मां अन्नपूर्णा के आशीर्वाद से हमारा अन्नदाता आत्मनिर्भर भारत की अगुवाई करेगा। मुझे विश्वास है आज जिन किसानों को कृषि सुधारों पर कुछ शंकाएं हैं, वो भी भविष्य में इन कृषि सुधारों का लाभ उठाकर अपनी आय बढ़ाएंगे, ये मेरा पक्का विश्वास है।
The Prime Minister asserted that the NDA government has a proven track record of keeping promises. He said the NDA government is helping the farmers and trying to increase their income by providing seeds, irrigation facilities, market and insurance cover to them. He said assistance is being provided directly to the bank accounts of more than 10 crore farmer families of the country. So far, about 1 lakh crore rupees have reached the farmers. The Prime Minister said that the government has procured farmers' products many times more than what was procured in the 5 years of the UPA-2 regime. He said the government has delivered on the promise of stopping the black marketing of urea and giving enough urea to the farmers. And he said the government delivered on the promise of fixing the MSP at 1.5 times the cost in line with the recommendation of the Swaminathan Commission. He said even during the lockdown period, the government has provided fertilizers to the farmers. He stressed that the government is spending crores of rupees to modernize the mandis. He assured that if his party's government comes to power in those states which have not implemented it yet, then it will be implemented there also. During his day-long visit to his constituency, the Prime Minister dedicated to the nation the 6-lane widening project of the Handia-Prayagraj Raja Talab Varanasi section of National Highway 19. The 73-kilometer stretch of the newly widened and 6-laned NH19, made with a total outlay of 2,447 crore rupees, will reduce the travel time between Prayagraj and Varanasi by an hour. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister said that the newly upgraded highway will help the devotees and tourists a lot and further increase development. Mr. Modi said the image of Uttar Pradesh has changed after the new BJP government came to power in the state.
पिछले 6 वर्षों में बनारस में हजारों करोड़ रुपए के प्रोजेक्ट तेजी से पूरे किए गए हैं और बहुत सारी परियोजनाओं पर काम चल रहा है। एयरपोर्ट से शहर को जोड़ने वाली सड़क आज बनारस में विकास कार्यों की पहचान बन गई है। रेलवे स्टेशन की कनेक्टिविटी भी बेहतर हुई है। यहां से कुछ दूरी पर ही रिंग रोड फेज 2 का भी कार्य तेजी से चल रहा है। इसके पूरा होने से सुल्तानपुर, आजमगढ़ और गाजीपुर से आने जाने वाले भारी व्हीकल्स शहर में एंट्री लिए बिना सीधे इस नए 6-लेन हाईवे से निकल सकेंगे।
The Prime Minister highlighted that the development which is taking place right now in Varanasi has never happened after independence, and Varanasi is now exporting vegetables and fruits to the foreign markets. The famous black rice of Chandauli is also reaching the markets of Australia and increasing the income of farmers. The Prime Minister said that the government is supporting farmers in its production. The Prime Minister took part in several functions in Varanasi today. After taking stock of the work of Kashi Vishwanath Temple Corridor project, he offered prayers to Lord Shiv at the temple. Travelling in a cruise on the hilly river Ganga, the Prime Minister reached Rajghat and took part in Dev Deepavali festival, which is being celebrated today. Dev Deepavali, the festival of Kartik Purnima, is celebrated on the full moon day of the auspicious Kartik month of the Hindu lunar calendar. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister emphasized the need to preserve India's cultural heritage. He further said that now India is giving a befitting reply to those forces who challenge its internal and external security.
चाहे सीमा पर घुसपैठ की कोशिशें हो, विस्तारवादी ताकतों का दुस्साहस हो, या फिर देश के भीतर देश को तोड़ने की कोशिश करने वाली साजिश है, भारत आज सबका जवाब दे रहा है और मुंह तोड़ जवाब दे रहा है। लेकिन इसके साथ ही देश अब गरीबी, अन्याय और भेदभाव के अंधकार के खिलाफ भी बदलाव के दिए भी जला रहा है।
The Prime Minister hailed the tradition of Akash Deep in Varanasi, in which people light lamps to pay tributes to the brave hearts of the country. More from our correspondent from Varanasi.
The entire riverfront of Holy Ganga was gleaming with lights of lakhs of earthen lamps. All ghats were decked up with colorful lights. The Dev Deepavali festival started by the Prime Minister by lighting a diya on the Rajghat and was followed by lighting of more than 15 lakh diyas on both sides of river Ganga. Adhering to COVID protocol, thousands gathered to welcome Narendra Modi, who became the first Prime Minister to take part in this festival. Cultural troops performed Shiv and Ganga Aarti, and standing on the cruise in the middle of the Ganga, the visibly mesmerized Prime Minister took a glance at the illuminated ghat and saw the laser show. The Prime Minister also launched the website of Pawan Path Varanasi on the occasion. Pawan Path is a circuit of prominent temples in Varanasi with Kashi Vishwanath Temple as the center point. It includes more than 100 prominent temples of the holy city. Later, he saw the light and sound show at the archaeological site of Sarnath. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Varanasi.
The government has brought a number of reforms for the welfare of farmers. Farmers can now sell their produce even outside the state. As a result, the farmers are not required to pay the exorbitant market fee, cess or levies applicable on sales in the designated mandis or markets by the state government. A report.
Freeing farmers from restrictions of selling their produce in the local mandis has rattled the big commission agents and their handlers seeking to retain their stranglehold on the farmers, suppressing their income in rural communities. Farmers that were forced to undertake distress sales owing to nexus between middlemen, buyers and marketing committees can now go for alternative competitive avenues to sell their agricultural products. Farmers that forked out mandi commissions and taxes as high as 16.5% of his product value would benefit big time, as they need not fork out these levies when the agriculture produce is sold outside the mandis. Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
In its direction of agriculture reforms, the central government has launched 1 lakh crore rupees Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, AIF. The Agriculture Infrastructure Fund is a medium, long-term debt financing facility for investment in viable projects for post-harvestment management infrastructure and community farming assets through interest subvention and credit guarantee. The duration of the scheme is from financial year 2020 to 2029. Under it, farmers can avail benefits from better production and marketing facilities created by this fund. More from a Delhi correspondent.
Under the initiative, a credit guarantee for loans up to 2 crore rupees is provided by the government. The government also provides 3% rebate in interest on loans up to 2 crore rupees for a maximum period of 7 years. Moratorium for loan repayment under this financing facility will be from 6 to 24 months. Under the fund, agri-entrepreneurs, startups and farmer groups will have access to credit for construction of warehouses, sorting grading unit and pack houses, creation of supply chain and cold chain facilities. Besides, the fund will also help setting up of primary agriculture processing centers and strengthening vision from seed to market. With Anand Kumar's report, Swati Rakheja for AIR News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today held virtual meetings with 3 teams working on developing and manufacturing COVID-19 vaccine. These teams were from Genova Biopharmaceuticals Limited of Pune and Biological E Limited and Dr. Reddy's Laboratories Limited of Hyderabad. Mr. Modi appreciated the efforts being taken by the scientists in these companies to come out with a vaccine solution to tackle COVID-19 pandemic. The potential of various platforms for vaccine development was also discussed. He also asked the companies to come out with their suggestions and ideas regarding the regulatory processes and related matters. All the vaccine candidates discussed are at different stages of trials, and detailed data and results are expected early next year onwards.
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 93.81% as a total of 45,333 patients have recovered during the last 24 hours. According to the Health Ministry, the total number of recoveries has gone up to over 88,47,000. During the past 24 hours, 38,772 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases to over 94,31,000. India is putting up a better fight against the COVID-19 pandemic than most of the countries. The countries like the USA, the UK, France, Brazil and Italy have reported about 4 to 5 times the number of cases on a per million basis than India as on the 28th of this month. More from our correspondent.
In case of number of deaths due to COVID-19 per million population, India has reported 98 deaths as of 20th of November. On the other hand, USA reported 813 deaths, Brazil saw 805, UK 846 and France witnessed 780 deaths. Thus, almost all these countries have about 8 to 9 times more deaths than India on a per million basis. Currently, India's curve is showing a downward trend in daily cases as from the peak of almost 97,894 daily cases in mid-September, there were 43,174 cases as on 26th of this month. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan distributed masks and soaps at the Old Delhi railway station today. Emphasizing on the importance of wearing mask and washing of hands, Dr. Vardhan said the most important principle is to follow basic principles of hygiene and physical distancing. Speaking on the COVID situation in India, Dr. Vardhan highlighted the progress in COVID parameters. He said India has one of the highest recovery rate in the whole world. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has directed private labs to reduce the rates of RT-PCR tests in Delhi. In a tweet, Mr. Kejriwal said that tests are being conducted free of cost in government establishments.
To curb the spread of infection in Mumbai, Commissioner of the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation BMC has asked the authorities to collect a fine of 200 rupees from the people not found wearing masks in public places. Post-Diwali season, the civic body has further increased inspection drives all across the city. In a release, the BMC said from April till November 28, it took action against 4.85 lakh citizens for not wearing masks in public places and collected over 10.7 crore rupees as fine from them. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
To encourage COVID-19 appropriate behavior among Mumbaikars, the BMC has decided to provide free masks to those found without face cover in public. Besides, it will also collect a fine of rupees 200 from them. The BMC says when an offender after being fined goes ahead without face mask, the objective of implementing the COVID-19 preventive protocol remains unfulfilled. According to BMC, from April till November 28, the maximum number of 32,000 citizens without masks were fined in the K West ward of the city. Nivedita, Mumbai.
The Odisha government has identified 30,000 sites across the state to administer COVID-19 vaccine as and when available. This was revealed in a national level review meeting by Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba, in which State Chief Secretary and other top-level officials took part through video conference today. It was also disclosed in the meeting that the state government has enlisted 8,300 vaccinators for smooth COVID-19 immunization. More from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
Odisha government have drawn up a multispectral response strategy involving stakeholders like NGOs, NCC and the civil society in their vaccination campaign. While the government have already prepared the database of the first priority group consisting of about 3.2 lakh health and frontline workers for vaccination, multiple task force committees have been put in place right from the state level down to the block level to oversee the massive immunization drive. In addition, the vaccination strategy as envisioned by the government has also embedded systems to ensure seamless supply of vaccine to the districts, onboarding community leaders and Panchayati Raj representatives to curb miscommunication. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program tonight will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Lieutenant General Ved Chaturvedi, who is rheumatologist at Sir Gangaram Hospital, will participate in the discussion. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says agricultural reforms will give farmers new options and legal protection. Assures that old system will also continue if someone chooses to stay with it. Prime Minister appreciates efforts being made by scientists to come out with a vaccine solution to tackle COVID-19. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 93.81%. In Jammu and Kashmir, all arrangements in place for second phase of District Development Council elections tomorrow. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu calls upon SCO member states to enforce statutes to eradicate safe havens and financial networks supporting terrorism. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
To get accurate, reliable and wide coverage of news, tune into AIR News 24/7 and FM Gold and listen to the major bulletins at 8:30 a.m., 2 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. in English and 8 a.m., 2:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. in Hindi of half an hour each.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, all arrangements are in place for the second phase of District Development Council DDC elections tomorrow. Along with it, Panchayat by-polls will also take place tomorrow. Voting will be held from 7 a.m. till 2 in the afternoon. The elections are being held in 8 phases. State Election Commissioner K.K. Sharma today said that arrangements have been made to ensure that polling is held in a smooth and peaceful manner. Out of the total 280 constituencies in the Union Territory, voting for DDC elections will be held in 43 constituencies in this phase, including 25 seats from Kashmir and 18 from Jammu Division. There are total 321 candidates in the electoral fray, including 196 from Kashmir and 125 from Jammu division. Meanwhile, by-elections of Panchs and Sarpanchs will be conducted in 83 constituencies. Similarly, in Panchs by-poll elections, which are going to be held in 331 constituencies, moreover, 58 Sarpanchs and 804 Panchs have been elected unopposed. In Telangana, elaborate arrangements have been made for the polling for Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation tomorrow. Over 74,67,000 voters are likely to exercise their franchise in this election. State Election Commissioner C. Parthasarathi informed that voting will be held from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow through ballot paper in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our Hyderabad correspondent reports that there are a total of 1,122 candidates in the fray for the 150 Division Municipal Corporation.
The State Election Commission authorities have made all arrangements for a free and fair poll tomorrow. Over 52,000 police forces have been deployed near and around 9,101 polling stations, out of which more than half of them were identified as sensitive or hypersensitive. Over 48,000 polling staff have been put on duty. Considering the COVID pandemic, 120,000 COVID-19 kits have been distributed. Special arrangements have been made for the aged electors who are above 80 years of age, differently abled, and mothers with small children, and those who are COVID positive. The COVID positive electors will be allowed to exercise their franchise during the last hour of the polling. Lakshmi, AIR News, Hyderabad.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has called upon the Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO member states to enforce internationally recognized legal statutes to comprehensively eradicate safe havens, infrastructure and financial networks supporting terrorism. Virtually addressing the 19th session of the SCO Council of Heads of Government hosted by India today, the Vice President expressed concern about states that leverage terrorism as an instrument of state policy. He said India condemns terrorism in all its manifestations.
The most important challenge faced by us in the region is terrorism, particularly cross-border terrorism. Terrorism is truly the enemy of humanity. It is a scourge we need to collectively combat. India condemns terrorism in all its manifestations. We remain concerned about threats emerging from ungoverned spaces and are particularly concerned about states that leverage terrorism as an instrument of state policy.
In yet another ceasefire violation, Pakistani troops initiated unprovoked and indiscriminate firing along the line of control in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir this afternoon. PRO Defence Colonel Davendra Anand said that Pakistani troops initiated unprovoked and indiscriminate firing with small arms and thereafter heavy mortar shelling along the LOC in Shahpur sector of the district at about 15:10 hours. The vigilant Indian Army troops guarding the fence are retaliating befittingly with equal caliber. There are no reports of any damage to property and any loss of life from Indian side so far. Further details are awaited.
Guru Nanak Jayanti or Gurpurab is being celebrated with religious fervour in the country and across the world. The day marks the birth of the first Sikh Guru, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who laid the foundation of Sikhism. This year marks the 551st birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. On this day, Sikh devotees around the world offer prayers. Starting with Akhand Path, the Gurudwaras recite 48-hour-long non-stop verses from Guru Granth Sahib, the holy book of the Sikhs. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the festival this year is being celebrated with simplicity. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted the people on the occasion. In Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh, Guru Nanak Jayanti is being celebrated with great religious fervour and devotion. On this occasion, Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh laid the foundation stones of 6 projects in Sultanpur Lodi to be completed at a cost of nearly 40.75 crore rupees. Here is more from our Chandigarh correspondent.
Thousands of devotees thronged gurdwaras across Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh to offer prayers on the occasion of Prakash Purab of Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. In Amritsar, Harmandir Sahib, in Sultanpur Lodi Gurdwara Bir Sahib and in Dera Baba Nanak Gurdwara Shri Darbar Sahib and Gurdwara Shri Chola Sahib and other gurdwaras elsewhere saw religious fervour to the fore on Guru Purab. Hymns were rendered at the holy shrine and hundreds of other gurdwaras across the region to mark the occasion. The Bhog of Shri Akhand Path Sahib was performed in the gurdwaras. The shrine complex has been decorated with lightning. Guru ka langar was also served at various gurdwaras in the region. Ashwini Kumar Sharma, AIR News, Chandigarh.
Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Singh Puri today released a book titled Prime Minister Narendra Modi and His Government's Special Relationship with Sikhs on the occasion of Guru Purab. The book was released in New Delhi in the presence of Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar. The book, published by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, was released in English, Hindi and Punjabi languages. The book is based on the messages of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Puri said that it is a compilation of many steps taken for welfare of the Sikh community in India by the Narendra Modi government. He said more steps have been taken for Sikhs in the last 6 years in comparison to the last 60 years. Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa launched a learning management system based on the digital technology for government colleges. The Learning Management System, LMS, will be implemented in 430 government first-grade colleges, 87 polytechnics and 14 government engineering colleges during this academic year. More from our Bengaluru correspondent.
Learning management system will have a progressive impact on teaching of about 24,000 teachers and learning of about 4.5 lakh students in the state. Bridging the digital divide, this digital platform will have multilingual e-content in the form of PPTs, videos, quizzes, assignments and e-study materials developed as per university prescribed syllabi of 14 affiliating universities by the faculty of Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. There will be analytics with scope for ranking of students, teachers and colleges, students' feedback, content rating and e-tracking of usage. This will also make learning from anywhere possible during the pandemic. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
The One Nation One Ration Card scheme has been commenced in Andaman and Nicobar Islands today. The Aadhaar-enabled biometric e-POS machines have been installed at nearly 50 shops in the islands. The Director, Department of Civil Supply, Dr. Navalendra Kumar Singh, informed about the same and affirmed that work is being rapidly done to set up these e-POS machines at all the 458 fair price shops of the islands. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital will have fog in the morning and later clear sky with temperatures varying between 7 and 27 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a mainly clear sky and the temperature will vary between 23 and 35 degrees Celsius. Chennai is likely to witness a thunderstorm with rain and temperature will hover between 24 and 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is likely to have a clear sky and the temperature will vary between 16 and 29 degrees Celsius. On to the north, Jammu will have a mainly clear sky and the temperature will hover between 9 and 25 degrees Celsius. Srinagar will also have a mainly clear sky and may become partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between -2 degrees Celsius and 13 degrees Celsius. In Leh, there will be mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening and the temperature will vary between -5 and 4 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have a mainly clear sky with temperature varying between -3 and 14 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have a mainly clear sky and the temperature will vary between 3 to 22 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 10 and 25 degrees Celsius. The sky will be mainly clear. Chandigarh will have a mainly clear sky. The temperature in the city will hover between 9 and 25 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the temperature will vary between 19 and 29 degrees and the city will have a generally cloudy sky. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says agricultural reforms will give farmers new options and legal protection, assures that old system will also continue if someone chooses to stay with it. Prime Minister appreciates the efforts being made by scientists to come out with a vaccine solution to tackle COVID-19. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 93.81%. In Jammu and Kashmir, all arrangements in place for second phase of District Development Council elections tomorrow. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu calls upon SCO member states to enforce statutes to eradicate safe havens and financial networks supporting terrorism. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.